Yeah, it was. Well, so I
Tell
got
that story.
I got the job while I was in. It was December or November. It was right around this time of last year. I got a job on Upwork to do React Native. That was my chance to learn React Native. I thought it was a big language. It is a big framework. And then it was winter break, and I had already bought tickets to fly down to Fort Lauderdale. So I was like, well, I've got to keep building out this app, and I'm going down to Fort Lauderdale. So I flew down, and I'd wake up in the morning. I'd go down to the beach, and I'd do some physical exercises while the sun would rise. I'd put my clothes back on. I'd walk over to Starbucks, sit in there, watch the waves crash in the sunshine, because it's warm down there while it's cold up here. And then I'd just be working on that React app. I'd be Googling some questions, sipping some coffee, and then I'd finish building, and I'd go back onto the beach, and I'd lay out in the sun and take a nap for the next 5-6 hours. And I was like, this is life. This is like, why would I ever go back to GE or Amazon again? This is the goal. I want to wake up every day in a new location, in the mountains, go back out west, wake up in the morning, hike a mountain, go back down, stare at a mountain from a Starbucks while I'm coding an app, finish coding, and then go back to that mountain and hike it again. And then just loop. Different place, different activity, still coding, still learning. But I like the nomadic lifestyle. I like having that empowerment. And it takes a certain kind of person. It's like a lot of people like the security of their job. They really like waking up, I get a secure paycheck, I know when it's going to come in, I know that when I go home, I'll have nobody else hitting me up but my family. I feel like all three of us are not that kind of person. We would much rather have the responsibility, because with that added responsibility comes a ton more freedom.
Mm-hmm.
We get to pick when we want to wake up. You can choose to be a night owl and do your work at night. I can choose to do my work on the beaches of Fort Lauderdale. You can decide to take a vacation and go out to Colorado.
I mean, you get to, like, for lack of a better word, you get to live a little bit more when you do it that way, you know? If you're stuck in an office from 8 to 5, the sun's coming up, you're going into the office, and then right as you get out, the sun's going down. What if it was a beautiful, even at work, I love that job, loved what I learned there, but, I'd be in an office the whole day programming, and I'm looking outside at this 85-degree sun, and I'm like, man, there's so many things I want to be doing right now, but, like, I'm not out till 5 o'clock, so I guess I'll have to do it then. And then it's a little bit colder, it's a little bit darker, people are, I don't know, tired from their day, whatever, and then I just end up, like, staying home. I don't know. There's more freedom, there's more ability to just, like, I do like the word live. I think that is the right word. I think you get to live a little bit more if you do it that way.
The people, I feel like a lot of the people who are in those jobs where they're sitting there for the 8 hours, they're justifying by saying, I'm making all this money so that when now people are making retirement age even younger. They're saying, like, when I'm 40, I'm going to retire and then I'm going to live. Well, when you're 40, like, on that Fort Lauderdale vacation, I was going onto the beach and I was doing pull-ups and I was doing handstands and I was doing cartwheels. I don't know when I'm 40, if I had waited 30 years, dedicating that time to office life 9 to 5, I don't know if I'd still be able to do that. Whereas now the lifestyle we're living, when we're still climbing mountains every single day and we're still running on the beaches, doing all that, we are living. We are living with the bodies that we have in this present moment while everyone else is pushing off their happiness to another day.
Yeah.
Have you ever read 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss?
Bro, I was about to bring up The New Rich.
The New Rich and mini retirements.
Yep.
I've loved the concept of a mini retirement. Rather than waiting until you're 60 to physically retire and then you spend the last golden years of your life living, you take mini retirements now. Every year, I take about a month off where I go and I call it a retirement. If I could, like, next year's retirement is traveling the entire globe, or the entire US. That's a retirement. People want to travel the world. I'm going to do it next year because there's no reason not to. If I end up going broke, fuck it, I'm young. Like, Amazon will still be there in a year.
Money.
Google will still be there in a year, and they'll love the fact that I went and took my experience and I traveled, and I can tell them all of those stories. People they're scared. There's this fear that you're going to miss something and that you're going to get left behind. When you're young, stop. Live your life. When you really think about it, people don't need to work that much, because what do you need at the end of the day? You need a certain amount of food, you need a certain amount of water, and you need shelter. Doesn't cost really a lot of money to do that. I can live off of, like, you live off of $250 a month somehow. Like, it doesn't take a lot of money. You don't need a $100K a year job to do that. And the benefit is you can go wherever you want and do whatever you want whenever you want. So the mini retirement concept, just rather than waiting until you're 60 to do your retirement, take a month now, take a month every year, month every 2 years if you have a more restricted schedule, retire. What does that mean for you? What's on your bucket list? Take a month and go fucking do it.
It's like a month-long meditation.
Rather than spending 60 years thinking about it and building up this vision, and then you get there and it's not as exciting as you wanted. It's an experiment. It's an iterative process of knowing what it is you want.
Like agile software development.
It's agile software development for your retirement. You spend 1 month doing your retirement, and you're like, this was awesome. I liked this, and this part was probably a lot of waste of time.